about to sign up for your first motocross race, or maybe you already have and you've got the anxious, nervous jitters, here are 3 tips to help you go from nervous and anxious to enjoying that upcoming motocross race. Experience is confidence, and I mean that both in riding a motorcycle alongside knowing the track that you're riding on. Alongside also racing in general. You're going to be more confident racing against others if you practice against others instead of practicing on an empty track. But let's start off with riding in general. I don't really want to gatekeep how long you should have ridden your dirt bike before you should sign up for a race, but you should feel really confident operating your machine, starting it, stopping it in the middle of a track if need be, going around any obstacles, especially if there's a downed rider, picking a line, sticking with it, holding a line, and then also in regards to knowing the track that you're riding on. Ideally, you pick your first race on a track that you know, but if you don't, I think, I raced on a track that I had never raced on before. That's totally fine. A lot of tracks have practice before the races. Get there a day or two early, sign up for that practice, go out there, practice. Or you can watch the sight laps. A lot of people will post GoPro footage on YouTube of their sight laps. Additionally, you can sign up for unclassified. So almost every race I know has an unclassified that races in the morning. Especially if you're super nervous, don't even try to hole shot it. Just wait till everyone's gone, then take off pretty slowly. And most of the unclassifieds I've done, they're shorter races or maybe even only 1 or 2 laps. So if you're at the back, you're not even going to have a chance to get lapped. Go out there, practice that track, and get comfortable for your actual race. Practice how you would race, practice riding a little bit more defensively at the track at times. Don't take somebody out at the track, but definitely don't be riding at the track giving away position to every single person who might pass you. And most importantly at the track, know how to hold a line, know how to get into a line that you're uncomfortable with and hold it. I think that's a really important skill. Skill number 2, I would say be early and be extremely well prepared. You don't want to miss out on a race day, especially because your bike broke or because you forgot a piece of gear at home. Pack your bag the day before, your personal motocross gear. Build a checklist. I always recommend you build a checklist so you don't forget things like your socks, your helmet, your boots. If you run Tech 7s, Tech 10s, your inner booties. I've almost had a couple of bad days myself because I bought the boot, but I forgot the inner booty. Don't do that. I always like to run extra kits. Bring those extra kits. It really helps. Pack extra fluids, pack extra parts. I always pack a jug of oil, coolant, a degreaser, chain lube, stuff to clean and oil my air filter along with extra air filters. Sometimes I'll even bring extra chains, extra sprockets. I know those have come in handy. I always bring extra handlebars. If you don't use it, maybe a buddy you're out at the track with, break something for them, and these parts are universal. And then also, most importantly, bring tools. Don't be that guy who brings a whole bunch of parts but has no tools to install anything. And bring those odd tools too. Like I think a couple of things that have really helped me out. Zip ties, huge. Velcro straps, huge. Duct tape, electrical tape, huge. Get a dead blow, like a big mallet, a hammer. You probably have a family who's going to be going with you to that track. Maybe you'll be alone, but if you're not, you have a dog. Maybe you have a wife, a child. I always go to the track with my wife and child. You have to make sure that they're prepared. You have to make sure that they're going to be comfortable in the given weather, the given bathroom situation. Most tracks races only have porta potties. They may have seating. Oftentimes it's limited seating. There may or may not be even lodging in the area, right? You might be 30 miles away from any hotels that they might be comfortable with, and there might be limited to no entertainment. That means no internet, no electricity, etc. So know your family, know what you should be bringing for them to keep them prepared, because if they have to leave, you probably only have one vehicle, and that might mean the end of your track day or your race day because they have to go grab Starbucks or whatever. Finally, my last tip is ride safe. Ride your race, not somebody else's. Leave that for when you're more experienced, when you're confident tailing somebody, trying to pass them. I would say that your very first race, you should be focused on going as fast as you can on the track. It doesn't mean that you're not pushing your abilities, because you definitely can, but it means that you're not trying to lock onto somebody who's definitely faster than you and copy everything they're doing and going well above your own skill level and crashing on your race day. It can be really easy to get in your head, get egotistical, especially when you see somebody who you think, hey, they're riding a worse bike than me. They're maybe in worse shape than I am. They look less prepared than I am. I can go faster than them, and so I'm going to tail them. Don't do that. Ride your own race. Focus on your race. Leave that for when you're more experienced. Don't focus on looking back behind you, except for maybe when you're changing lines, but ultimately you should be holding your lines. I've found that the more experienced people pass me with such grace. The only people I've ever gotten hit by during a pass are like the little 65ers, the 85 riders, right? Super minis. So, yeah, those guys aren't going to hit you as long as you don't go from inside to outside unexpectedly, etc. So just hold your line, learn how to hold your line. Even if you're in a line you're uncomfortable with, you don't like, etc. It's too ruddy, whatever. Hold it. Learn how to hold it. If your bike is unsafe, or if you are unsafe, you are too tired to continue, check behind you, make sure it's safe, and pull off the track. It's not the end of the world to pull off the track. You can pull off the track. You can pull off the track and keep going in a lot of different races. In NGPC recently, there's a video of me on my GoPro of round 1 where I had to bend the front brake brother back up. And if I wasn't able to bend the front brake leather back up, I definitely would have DNF'd. But I tried. I was able to get the front brake leather back up on the handlebars to where I could reach it. And I was able to keep racing once there was a clearing. So definitely be safe. Don't be afraid to pull off the track if you are either way too physically tired to continue. And that doesn't mean just, stay on the bike, but race safely. I see a lot of people out there who look like they're absolutely burnt by lap 1. Don't be that guy. And if you are that guy, come back another day, right? Don't be afraid to call it in the unclassifieds. Just watch. It's always a great day watching other people at the racetrack too. My final tip is watch for flags. You're probably going to see more incidents at the racetrack than you've ever seen on a practice day, unless you have pretty hectic practice days. So you should be watching for flags. That means blue flags. A lot of tracks don't throw blue flags, but if your track does have a blue flag, it can be super helpful. Just know what they are, know when they're coming up, that you should be holding your line and letting that guy pass you. Yellow flags especially, I think the most common one that you're going to start seeing a hell of a lot more that you really probably haven't seen too much at practice, or maybe it wasn't quite as important at practice, was the yellow flag. Not that it isn't important at practice, but on race day, people can get very, 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 very seriously hurt. They could be big pileups, right? On a practice day, there might only be one person injured on a yellow flag, or on a race day, it could be a 5-10 person pileup. You should be extra, 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 extremely cautious on that yellow flag, and you should be prepared and looking for them at all times anytime you see a flagger. Yeah, these are a couple of tips. I think motocross racing is awesome. Great on you for having the initiative. You should definitely sign up for a race, whether that be your first motocross series. It's like a little bonus tip. Maybe sign up, plan your race progression for me. That's been Grand Prix to outdoors, just traditional outdoors motocross, and then hopefully eventually to arena cross, supercross type stuff. So yeah, race safe. Let me know how it goes in the comments. I would love to hear from you where you're racing at, what we raced. Maybe leave a comment before you race and then come leave a comment after you race. Let me know how you did. Hopefully you made it all safely. And yeah, take care. Race safe. I'll talk to you soon.